All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is hour one on Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahushai, Ba Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nakwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. They're talking about these recent, let me turn this music on. This recent trade war that's going on between Canada and the U.S. All right, and this is just the beginning of the downfall of spiritually called Egypt, Babylon. All right, which were both um, dominant empires. All right, that the Most High showed His power in the midst of delivering the children of Israel. All right, so now this is goes in line with what you would call temptations. So another word for temptations would be trials. These are things that we're going to have to endure. But is it the end? No, it's just the precursor. It's the birth pains of before the judgment. It's before the deliverance. All right. But it is the beginning of the downfall of Babylon. Uh, Matter of fact, let's get this scripture real quick. I'm gonna go here. What I just said. Um, okay, let's go here. I'm gonna get something real fast before I even start. Uh, this is Mark 3:26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. All right, they're not that this trade war, this tariff war, so like this tariff war is going to slow down trade, slow down imports to the U.S., cut off power. You know, I guess they're threatening. Canada's threatening to cut off 25% of the U.S. electrical exports, to the U.S., which would they're saying it's only the northern states that use Canada's power lines. The southern states don't, which are actually the red states, Texas, Florida. Um, but you'll hear Canada's leader saying, "Hey, man, they're gonna go after the red states." So I don't know how that's gonna work out. But anyway, now you have you got the weather. It's in the middle of summer, or towards the end of summer, with the heat waves. Now, if the power goes out, that means the AC goes out. If the AC goes out, people pass out. But um, you can have home invasions. It's like a damn purge out here in cities, especially up north, um, where you can't see much of the sky, man. With the stars at night, it'd be pitch black. Without the electrical grid. All right. Um, so it shows you the direction that they're heading. Even if this is just a um, temporary, what you would say, confrontation between Canada and the U.S., this is the alleged direction they're heading. As far as you will have everything and own nothing. The voices keep ringing. That voice keep ringing out right in these times. So they threaten the power grid. All right, which would cause what? More suffering, depopulation, depending on how long it lasts. All right. And it's um, what you would call ancient Babylon was a commercial state as well, commerce. So it would slow down trade, just like ancient Babylon did when the Lord started cutting off trade to Babylon from his allies. So the same type of thing is happening now, just like the plagues of Egypt. When the Lord put 3 days of darkness on Egypt, I think it was the ninth plague. 3 days of darkness. It's called palpable darkness. So dark that you can't even see the stars. You can barely see a fire or anybody lights or anything. You know, maybe it won't be that dark till the time till the Most High brings His full judgment. But this is the precursor to it, man. It's still gonna be dark as hell, man. People gonna be hiding in corners, scared to go outside, prisoners in their own house. See, what did they do with the lockdowns? People was locked into their homes. That we call it a damn lockdown. All right, so you know, power grids shut down the internet. They can shut down servers, cash registers. All right, so people can't buy or sell anything. There goes a quick um, opportunity in the midst lingering for civil unrest. All right, just like I don't know what country is happening in. I've kind of I've seen it on my algorithm a few times. I think it was Puerto Rico or Cuba, where the light's been out for a long time now. But I'm gonna read this real quick. It says here, um, let's go to Matthew's. No, this is what I want right here. Second Ezra's 16:37. It says, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh." What plagues? The same plagues the Lord starts to use. What is it? Like somebody catch a plague? What happens? The body starts to break down until they gone. So the Lord is beginning to break this structure down, the system down. Behold, the plagues draw nigh. We're basically taking the power away from Esau. All right. He says, "Sit in the darkness. There is no more throne." So you start. The U.S. is threatening these countries, and these countries are pushing back, saying they're strong too. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So this is it. This is the beginning of it. Um, is that what we call it, a virgin daughter, Babylon? I mean, it was untouched, unfazed by these other countries before. Seemed like it'd be untouchable. As when a woman with child in the ninth month bringeth forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, right? Just like the earth. Which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. See, judgment day's coming. So now the birth pains have to come, the plagues, before the judgment day. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. They're gonna move fast when this place begins to really break down. And the world shall mourn. See, economic, what they call that, world economic collapse in World War III. And sorrows shall come upon it on every side. All right, because they're basically all fighting against each other. The suffering is the Most High bringing His judgment upon the earth. Oh, so the Lord is warning His people. Who's His people? The elect of Israel, the hopeful elect. Oh, my people, hear my word. See, these are the times supposed to hear his words from the prophets, from the men of the Lord that's teaching, because he's speaking through us in these times. All right, even with comforting. I walked up to a brother today. He was at the cash register. I told him some scriptures before and gave him my page, and I ran into him again, and he was like, just excited that he showed me all the precepts he was taking down, and he said, I actually feel comforted with the things I'm going through. I was like, hey, that's what the scriptures say. Comfort one another with these words, and so that's part of prophecy as well. That's the only thing that's going to help us endure. That's why I titled this the trials of endurance. All right, I think the title is that. Make you ready to thy battle. And in those days, so how you make yourself ready to the battle? You protects your home, stockpile foods, and But the main protection is having a covering and your sword and your helmet of salvation. What the Lord told us to cover ourselves with and build up our faith, which is our confidence. All right. In Psalms 91, um, that shield and buckler. So that's how we make ourselves ready to the battle. Turn to the Lord so He'll be on our side. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Basically saying what? This is not your, know that this current rulership is not your destination. It's not your residency. It's a temporary um, affliction that the Lord was putting on us. That now we have to realize that our home is Jerusalem. Our home is in the presence of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. So we have to, what would a pilgrim do? They travel, get prepared for the next travel. Know that this is not our home. All right. Get ready for um, to be taken, um, delivered. All right. And be willing to let everything go. Yeah, like you're a messenger sent here, or a soldier. He says, as soldiers, endure hardening, to prepare you. This the Lord is fortifying, has fortified and is fortifying our spirit for what's to come. It was 3 days of darkness in Egypt, so dark that they couldn't even see the hand in front of their face, hiding in corners from apparitions, feeling the corners, hearing waters drip, all this weird scary movie type shit. And so who knows? With blackouts, it could happen spontaneously in different places in America. So, but someday it's going to be all over this place. He that selleth, because the power grid, they're going after that power grid, man. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. All right, so that's the point. So be as pilgrims upon the earth. You know that this is not our home. All right, don't be attached to this shit. Let me get this real quick. Hold on. The second Ezra 15:11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. So the Lord is going to stretch out His arm, send His angels to protect us when these blackouts, power grids, things that uh, can hurt you in the darkness or in secret, like plagues, um, in home invasions, martial law, all these different things, or whatever's in this day that can attack you out in the open as well. The missiles, right? Martial law, et cetera, et cetera. So we need Yahweh Shem Shah to protect us from all of this gangs. Cause that's the main thing. The first thing um, in the societal breakdown is militias and gangs taking over the areas. They said it's a city out here where there's no cop police, and immediately you see Jake, what they call YNs, walking around with sticks, um, standing on people's cars, turn straight into the purge. They waiting for it to self-destruct. Second Ezra 15:11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand. See, we're gonna need the Lord's might for him to show his power to deliver us, and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Basically saying what? He's gonna show his power in a societal breakdown, economic breakdown, structure breakdown, defense, whatever, um, you know, destroy the spirit of this place, which is evil, and then he's going to destroy the object of also, all right, the land, destroy all the land, and will destroy all the land thereof. That's what it says. All right, so first we're going to start with the plagues, and then he's going to destroy all the land thereof. All right, so, but the situation with Canada, that's all a part of the Most High's plan to have Satan divided against Satan, nations going against each other, ruling in the kingdom of men. Matthews 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation. See, and Canada is rising against the U.S. and et cetera, et cetera. And kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines. See, this could bring famines because people food can go rotten. And pestilences, all right, bring infections and plagues. Um, even darkness is a plague. And earthquakes in diverse places. Basically, you know, we know about the earthquakes, right? All over the place. So these are the times of evil, and we have to make our minds ready to the battle. It said the U.S. and Canada fall deeper into a trade war with new tariffs as talks collapse and blame is spread. See, Satan against Satan. The United States and Canada have fallen deeper into a trade war. All right, this is what I'm looking at right here. Look at his face. This dude. This guy, man. Anyway, it said the United States and Canada historic allies. They used to be historic allies, man. The Lord is breaking all that up, just like Daniel chapter 2. Along an undefended border, fell deeper into a trade war, that they fell deeper into a trade war. See, let's get that real quick. Hold up. This is Psalms 10:5. His ways are always grievous. So anytime Esau wants something, they're gonna bring grief to another person. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. They can't even tell that the Lord is judging them, and they're not righteous. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He like, whatever. And they don't know that the Lord is raising up the enemies against them. He like, whatever, man. Just like the Pharaoh was doing. Just like Nebuchadnezzar, what was his name? Nebuchadnezzar, all right? And Belshazzar, um, partying with Israel's gold and stuff like that, or artifacts. And the Lord said, "Okay, I'm bringing some people to see you. I got some uninvited guests. Cyrus. His name's Cyrus. as like Putin and them. So it says what as for all his enemies he puffed at them. He like, you ain't gonna do nothing. But they like, yo, look, it says the United States where was that? So each side blamed the other for the collapse of negotiations in Washington late Friday, leading the U.S. to impose 50% tariffs. They ain't leading; it was already planning on bullion on 20 billion worth of Canadian goods. That's a lot, man. And Canada setting September 8th as the start of its retaliatory penalties. Oh snap! September 8th. There we go. That's something to pay attention to. Canada Canada setting has set September 8th as the start of its retaliatory penalties. And one of the penalties is not distributing electricity to the U.S. President or whatever imports taxes will hit about 5% of what Canada ships to the U.S. every year, ranging from hockey sticks, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, Carney uh, accused Washington of using economic integration as a weapon and said its signature was written in pencil. They basically said Trump signed his signatures in pencil and shit on the contracts. Oh goodness, what? Damn, they cut the hell out of Esau with that one. Resorting to the language of battle, he said his country had been attacked by the new U.S. tariffs. You're at war when you get attacked. He said, adding that Canada had the reserves, resilience, and plans to respond. Damn. But to Trump's chief negotiator, the U.S. was compelled to act after a year of retaliation, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? We said enough. So enough is enough. Yep. So power risk, man. See, somebody else fighting, uh, you know, it's going to cause everybody else to suffer. All ways are grievous, man, to everybody else. Power risk, grid shutdowns, blackouts, power laws, days of darkness, just like the plagues of Egypt. All right. Um, Second Ezra is 15 and 11. Did I read that? Yeah. Let me get this. My bad. Let's go to Exodus 10 and 21. I'm gonna go there real quick. I'm trying to hurry up. Exodus 10 and 21 to 23. Darkness over the whole land. All right, well, you can read more about it. I think it's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, how the Lord protected the children of Israel, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8. All right, but in more detail, Exodus 10 and 21. And Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. Meaning, like, you can't see the stars, you can't uh, see any light that's in somebody light a match in front of you, you can't even see it. That type of darkness, like a storm almost. Lightning flashes, man, scare the hell out you. And Lord sending apparitions at them. And Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. See, they saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. But the point is that they weren't able to rise from their place. That's a lockdown. People gonna be scared to go outside, or pitch black. They ain't safe. And Pharaoh, all right, so that was 23, right? So now, but check this out, Psalms 91. Go here real quick. This is Psalms 91 and 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. All right, because someday it's going to be more intense. It's not just going to be a retaliation from a proxy nation like Canada or an insignificant ally to the U.S. But instead it's going to be a direct motion from the enemy to bring down the power grid, allegedly. All right, but we know this those that know they know. All right, but it says what? Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and that's all the snare, the traps that they coming with, just like the prior lockdowns, as everybody's starting to see with Fauci, and from the noisome pestilence. All right, so all the destruction too. He shall cover thee with his feathers. So the Lord gonna send his angels. We in that time, man. All right, and under his wings shalt thou trust. And then someday he gonna deliver us in those chariots. So he gonna send his angels to watch over you. But then someday those chariots, we're gonna trust in those to deliver us from the final destruction. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. All right, so that's our shield. That way, it said, prepare thyself to the battle with the truth. All right, because there's gonna be a lot of lies going on, as we already see. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night. All right, so things that can happen in the nighttime, especially with the lights out, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. So it's things that would oppose you in broad out in the open, like a missile, direct threat. It's just war, just war. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness. All right, so plagues that can happen in the dark or secret attacks against you. Nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. All right, so judgment day. So we in that time. This shows you the beginning and the end, right here, man. Psalms 91:6. All right, so let me get this real quick. Second Ezra 16:37. I'm gonna get it on my phone so I can be faster. Second Ezra 16:37. All right, check this out. Second Ezra 16:37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh. See those plagues? They draw nigh and are not slack. All right, so and that's just it, man. So I read this one earlier. I forgot. All right, but just like birth pains. Matter of fact, I'll read it again. As when a woman with child in the ninth month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains. See, early in the stages, man. Not even in the ninth, but early in the early hours. Pains compass her womb, start to have contractions. Which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. And that's how the Lord created that process, just like the breakdown or the deliverance of the children of Israel from the womb, from oppression. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and the sorrows shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle. This is our fight that the Lord put in our hands. This is our Goliath, and we are like in that spirit of King David. All right, this challenge that's ahead of us is scaring everybody, but the Lord given us that confidence, that faith. All right, even though it seemed insignificant, King David, the people think we're all insignificant because of our faith in the Most High, knowing about how He delivered us prior. Same way King David knew how the Lord delivered him from the lion and the bear. with strength. The Lord instilled that in our hearts, even though He had King David choose an insignificant weapon like a sling. The scriptures seem insignificant in these times, or the truth. So we're about to face our Goliath, and the Lord put us um, at a stance against these challenges to come, man. And one of them is going to be what? A trial of endurance, localized darkness, and economic strain. All right. So, hey, Shalom, Mark. Yabashim Shabrak, Barakatah. I hope this was edifying, man, and see you on the next one. So.